Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Anvalan conflict round 2. I am joined here today with Imagine.
Hey,
How
how's
you
it
doing,
going?
Imagine?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Not too bad. Do you want to run down these builds?
Yeah, sure. Of course, we've got the Raft going against the Valiant today, and on the Valiant side, on the Crassius R2, we've got the typical blender fish that you see a lot on this map, with a mine launcher one side and a mortar on the other. On the Greasy Croissant, we've got Mobula. Let's see, we've got Get Artemis on one side, mortar top, Get Artemis on the other side. So that's kind of an interesting build to bring to this map. On the raft side, we've got the corkscrew, Gat mortar front, pretty standard, with Banshee flare on the side. And on the Canto de Emma, we've got once again Gat mortar front and Banshee flare side. So identical ships on the raft side.
Now, that greasy croissant, I can't unsee the croissant shape of the Mobula. That will
You know, I
forever scar me.
I never even thought of that. That's something I even considered when I was looking at the name and ship, but you're right, it does kind of look like one.
Now, I've
Ex
seen this Mobula build before, and it has a lot of opportunity to just throw down an absolute metric shit ton of damage. But it needs to be left alone. So the Crassius needs to run a lot of interference here. He's mining up this entrance, and they look like they're going to just try to lure them in and try and engage from this opening between buildings.
Yep, and of course with the Carronade, they can also do, especially on this map, do a lot of interference running. You got a lot of terrain you can bump the opponents into. I'm not entirely sure how effective this mining is going to be. I mean, I guess that it just means that they won't approach through those two buildings, but really to either. Well, you know what? I guess I like this more than I previously thought so while I was looking at it. There's a fairly straight corridor here, uh, and that's going to mean a lot of Artemis fire is going to be unobstructed.
Now, if you want to, fend off these Pyramidians with mines, a big part of that will be re-screening very, very quickly because it's fairly easy to flank on this map. I mean, they potentially have to protect 3 possible entries, so they need to be able to remine quickly. And there's the
It looks like
Crassius
that.
already
Yeah,
throwing down.
they are. So it's a pretty good, pretty quick response. But the problem is that these Pyramidians are going to be within firing range already. Like those mines, yeah, you're not going to be able to go in, but you can still hit from that distance.
And
As
now
you can
you've
see,
cut yourself off because you're in a Carronade fish. So essentially
yeah,
he can't charge. So it's kind of this weird stalemate going on while Gat's raining in and hitting the Crassius. He needs to be a little
yeah, and
more
hitting
careful.
a lot of it. Already armor going down, balloon taking a little bit of damage. Those mortar shots raining on in, missing for the most part. However, of course, at that range, it's gonna be a little bit harder to hit. But the Crassus actually backs up into this building and gets stuck. It does get a little bit stuck in this building, so it does take a little bit more damage than it absolutely wanted to.
And they
And they're
break
gonna
in
have
that
to,
arc.
yeah, they're gonna have to at least duck down below this building here, not to get hit, and careful because there's a mine right below the croissant, which
And
just
I don't
explodes.
know
All
if
right.
Urs has chat open, but one of the Valiant members was just like, nope, 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 nope,
Nope,
nope.
nope, 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 nope. And the problem is, oh, now the Pyramidions are coming in from the other side. Quick response from the raft, and they are just charging in straight into the croissant. The croissant's going to back up into that building and get absolutely wrecked. The Crassus trying to do its best against the Canto de Ama.
Focusing that
But
mobile was the right decision. Now Crassius running away. One Carronade could not distract the Pyramidians from their sole target, which was that mobile.
And they're
Now,
just trying to get away
bad
and
round.
whams into that other building, and they are just sitting goldfish now. They are going to get that mortar rained down on them and absolutely wrecked here. So that is a very good start for the raft. And once again, you see how dangerous terrain can really be.
Yep, Frogger. Uh, uncharacteristically, I'd say, taking a Pyramidion. That Carronade, I think, scared off the Junker.
Yeah, that's quite a good point. We were discussing a little bit of that before. We haven't really seen him flying a Pyramidion, and ooh, this is just some not very good spawns here for the Valiant as they spawn all the way across the map. And are both of them spotted? Yeah.
In the middle,
No.
yeah, but the red team does have an opportunity to try and meet up. Kraskius R2 got spotted.
Yeah, and thankfully Croissant wasn't, but I mean they are in absolutely no shape to support with any fire right now, and the problems that the Crassius has already been spotted here, as you said, and these two pyramids are closing in.
And the
And
problem
the
with a
Croissant
Mobula
is
on Periton is that it's so wide, it's hard to navigate through buildings with ease. So now it's going to take him even longer. Bat ram from the Krasis
ooh,
Aruto, just catching the bottom rebar off a battered
yep.
building.
Kanto actually hit its own little building here, so that's gonna help the Crassius probably get out of here a little bit at least. Corkscrew raining in some nice little fire, but probably not going to do any permanent damage, or not no more than more than that tiny sliver that they just did. Mines are being tossed out behind him. Wow, that
I mean,
gap
you
fire is
gotta
going a
love it
long
at like
distance.
at 5 to 750 to even 1,000 meters. They're still landing gap fire. I mean, the
Yeah.
amount of prediction that takes, that's some, wanted shit going on. And the Greasy Croissant, just one big target, getting
It did
laid
get in
into by
here.
these Pyramidians. Just going to be able to break arcs, but they're not going to stop their assault, that's for sure.
Look at the gap mortar fire just going so far across this map, taking out so much
They're
of the
giving
Greasy
them
Croissant
no quarter.
already. And unless the Crassus gets up here and does something major, that Greasy Croissant is not going to last for very much longer. It's trying to fall down over into the little
Greasy Croissant needs to
outcropping here, but
try and keep a higher altitude so that the Carronade can try and take one of these out of the fight. Now the Kanto taking a lot of mortar fire,
on the
but the Greasy
Crassus
Croissant
is
quarter.
just on the top of this building. This is just such a hard map to navigate, and once again the Greasy Croissant goes down, and I have a feeling that the Crassus is not going to be far behind, although the Corkscrew did finally get its balloon taken out, so only one Pyramidion firing on this goldfish, but that usually is enough. As you see, they're almost taking him out.
Going for the dunk.
Not quite yet, but they don't really have a whole lot of room to, well, run to at this point. Crassus flying straight into the Corkscrew. Gets its armor back up one more time, and the Greasy Croissant actually got a pretty good spawn. They are firing off at the Crassius.
I'm surprised that bounce didn't kill him, to be honest.
Yeah,
I
I'm
thought as
pretty
soon as
surprised
he
as
hit
well.
that, he was done.
And somehow the Crassus has been able to survive through all this. The Corkscrew has its side guns turned to the Crassius now. And there goes the balloon, there goes the armor, and there goes the ship. Alright, finally goes down, so that's crazy amount of survivability that happened there, but does get taken down. It is a 4-0 lead, and there's a juicy Mobula just sitting right in the middle here.
We're in a meat factory, and this is a meat grind. Of
Yeah,
the rawest sense.
I'm really not too certain of this choice to take this Mobula, especially on this map. It might work better on somewhere we can get longer range fire in, but this Mobula is just absolutely getting wrecked by only one of these two Pyramidions currently. More gap fire coming in. The
You had
Crassius.
two gunners sitting on those Artemises trying to take out the front guns of at least one of those Pyramidions, but now they're all on repairs.
Yeah,
What
Greasy
looks
Croissant
like futilely.
trying to tank Crassus, trying to get back in here as soon as possible. The Greasy Croissant does go down for a 5-0 victory for the Raft on this map. Of course, this is a best of 3, so we are going to be going to at least a game 2, and we'll see if the Valiant can pull out victory to push it to a game 3, or if the Raft are going to take this match number 1 in round 2 of the Anvalan conflict. Stay tuned.
Hello and welcome back to game 2 of the Valiant versus the Raft. Daniel, do you want to take the builds away?
Yeah, let's do another quick rundown of ships. We've got a little bit of change on the Valiant. We've got the Mildehummel, Pyramidion. Let's see, mortar carronade front. I've been seeing more of that with a flare mine launcher on the side. Then we've got the La Baguette, a junker which has gat mortar one side, double Artemis on the other, and carronade up front. On the RAFT team, we've got the corkscrew, the Pyramidion, gat mortar front, Banshee flare side, and on the dancing feather, so not dual Pyramidion this time, we've got carronade, Banshee on one side, and gat mortar on the other with a Mercury gun up front, which we already see being fired to the other side as the two teams have complete vision of one another.
Now, looks like there's a bit of a discrepancy on the Valiant. They have some Artemis on the side of the junker, but the Mildehummel is rocking that carronade Pyramidion.
Super up close range, yeah. And I've seen more and more of this lately, actually, this carronade mortar thing that a lot of teams seem to be picking up now. I'm not sure when exactly that meta started to shift, but that's definitely the way it looks like it's going currently.
Now, I'm surprised to see that Frogger, there we go, still took a junker, because it must have not been the carronade that deterred him, or it was the fact that it was a heavy carronade. I'm not entirely certain what determines whether he takes a junker or not. I'd love to know.
Not entirely sure either. Maybe it was just the fact that the Valiant were using a Mobula, and the sheer firepower of two Pyramidions can definitely deal with that. Alright, let's see, the dancing feather.
There's a bait here, which is
coming on in
fairly well.
Yeah, Mildehummel can just slap down the dancing feather, but of course troop flying right behind. Dancing feather have taken so much damage already. All sorts of components are dead. Guns are dead, engines are dead, but the Mildehummel taking a lot of fire.
But he's gonna just tank it out while the corkscrew takes out the Mildehummel. Nice play by Frogger, just deciding to peer tank that out while he enabled the corkscrew to get some shots down.
Unfortunately, the dancing feather is also going to go down, so it will be a 1-to-1 trade here, as the corkscrew and La Baguette so far completely untouched each other, but La Baguette is the one who is going to be getting worse of this encounter, it looks like right now, as they are already taking damage.
Gonna be getting into that pillar, just avoiding it. Nice decision to fly over the corkscrew. Try and break arcs a little bit easier.
Race to meet them, and it looks like the La Baguette will just be successful at getting out. Now these two spawns were basically at opposite corners of the map, so it's more or less equally bad spawns for both teams, but La Baguette seems to be the one who's in a little bit more trouble here, as the dancing feather is already upon them. La Baguette taking a lot of damage, bleeding down. Mildehummel is working on the corkscrew, however.
And he's gonna be able to get behind him, but his teammate goes down, and now it's another 2v1 scenario, and we might be seeing another quick kill go down on the red team here.
But the Mildehummel is right behind the corkscrew, and dancing feather is kind of further away, so if they work quickly, the Mildehummel could take the corkscrew down before they take too much damage.
Need some mortar hits, need to keep that range. They need to get some shots down here and keep that armor down, but unfortunately it goes back up, and dancing feather descending to meet.
Ooh, corkscrew does get taken out, but the Mildehummel is going to follow right behind here as they can.
Armor just getting back up.
Here? Okay, oh, nope, never mind. They hit against that pole, and that's probably going to end their spell, their doom right here. As you see, now the La Baguette gets a spawn right next to the dancing feathers. So we're just having constant action going on, as the La Baguette is now firing on the dancing feather, and the corkscrew spawning across the map.
This is a very easy engagement to end. I mean, either one of them could have ended it by just propelling forward a little bit and hiding behind that pillar. I mean, junkers can't control their engage angles very well.
Got a pretty favorable spawn there, so he's not terribly across the map or anything.
Yeah. So we'll see how blue initiates this. Apparently the junker tanking didn't quite work out. Frogger showing that he was not in fact an MVP.
Oh, Dancing Feather getting up in here real quick. The Corkscrew is just lagging a little bit too far behind, and Dancing Feather is sitting here by itself for just a few too many seconds, I feel like. But the Milde Himmel already getting blasted, and wow, that was very little damage going on the Dancing Feather, actually. I don't know what happened there.
Maybe a little bit of an engineer mishap. Now La Baguette is trapped in these ribs with 2 enemies. He's going to be having a terrible time as Banshee rains in and goes straight across his gun deck.
Yeah, and Balloon goes down, and he is moving at quite a significant speed. Hopefully he doesn't crash into the ground, because
I think what he's going to try to do is go under that ship to try and just break any arcs he can.
Can you do that with a Junker? I'm not exactly sure.
Can do that with pretty much anything except the Galleon or Aspire.
They stopped and they're going the other way? I don't... Milde Himmel is getting back in here, but the La Baguette has taken a lot of damage. Their armor is still completely down. They bounce, take a damage. They manage to get their armor back up. Milde Himmel coming in on the Corkscrew, trying to save his teammate. Dancing Feather's Balloon is all the way down as well. La Baguette still managing to stay alive, so that is some fantastic tanking by the La Baguette so far. And now some Corkscrew who's going down to the ground.
A very convenient thing we saw for La Baguette was a lot of the damage was being shrugged off on that balloon from the mortar, as the blue team were having troubles getting angles.
Yep, Corkscrew now, mortar shots raining in, missing almost all of them, but their balloon is still down. Dancing Feather barely managed to get it back up. Is the Corkscrew actually going to go down here? Yes, it is. And now the Dancing Feather is in a lot of trouble here, as it has no balloon, as that Carronade is just going to town all the Dancing Feather. Are the Valiant actually going to be able to tie this up here after being down 4-2?
Maybe.
Corkscrew gets his spawn all the way across the map, and the Dancing Feather is going to go down, so it is a 4-4 tie. So that was just an amazing amount of tanking going on by the La Baguette to stay alive for that long, allowing the Milde Himmel to get back into this fight.
So now I feel like the blue team are going to try to re-engage this, get a quick kill on one. I mean, when the RAFT puts their mind to it, you know that they can put down the DPS, perfect their timings, and just absolutely eviscerate one singular target.
Yep, we saw that happen a couple of points already this fight, at least. But they've got to be a little bit more careful. Last engagement, Dancing Feather got in there far ahead of the Corkscrew. I mean, it ended up working out for them in general, but it just seemed to be uncharacteristically large amount of space between these two ships and their approaches.
Very true. I mean, trying to engage into the ribs on either side of this map can be very awkward at times. So it's often a very easily defensible position.
Yeah,
there are ways around it.
I guess the real question here is, which of these two ships, if you didn't know that the La Baguette had lost, already about half of its health here, which of these two ships would you go after? Would you go after the Junker, or would you go after the Pyramidion? Or is it just kind of whichever one you see
I usually just prioritize Pyramidion because they tend to be a little less durable, in my opinion. So that's why I tend to focus, but again, it depends on the engagement.
That's what's happening, as the Milde Himmel is lost. Almost barely gets its armor back up for just a few seconds, trying to rise up here, but they're taking so much damage and they don't want to crash into those ribs. Be careful with that. Mortar shots coming in, raining on in it. Oh man, that was just a very, very well executed attack by the RAFT there, taking out the Milde Himmel, taking this map 5-4. A much better showing in this map by the Valiant, but they will do a down 2-0, and the RAFT will advance into the semifinals of the Anvalan conflict. So thanks for watching, everyone, and stay tuned for more matches upcoming.
Bye!